everyone, Sheree here. Today I am going to create a layout using some new stamps from Kellie Stamps. So I have this fun set here called Good Read, and it's all about books, and the other one I'm using is called High Street Alpha. So I'll be using this one for my title on this page. This page is all about Maddie's absolute favourite book series. It's called Scarlet and Ivy, and this is the very last book, I think, in a set of 5 that's only just come out, and she was so excited. She's waited months and months for this book, and she had it finished within a day because she just could not put it down. So because she does love this book series, I just wanted to dedicate a page to it for her to remember in years to come. So I will get into it and show you what I've got planned for this page. Alright, so to start off with, I'm going to stamp on this little white tag out of my stash, and I've got the stamp that says Book Lover. I thought this would be cute dangling down from the side of the photo. I love that little stamp. Next, I've got the one that says couldn't put this one down, which is so true for Maddie with this book. So just stamping that one onto some cardstock there, and then I've got the Good Book stamp. Stamping that as well. I wasn't quite happy with how that one turned out, so I'm just going to do it again. That one's done, and I'll give you a closer look at those, and I'm going to cut those ones out with my scissors. Just cut all the way around as close to the stamp as I can with the one with the border. And just a simple rectangular shape for the other stamp. And now I'm going to go ahead and use these High Street Alpha stamps to stamp out my title, which will be The Last Secret, which is the title of the book. So I'm just simply placing the letters onto the block, applying some ink, and then stamping it onto some white cardstock. I wasn't quite happy with the coverage of the first word there, so I'm just doing it again, and I'll go ahead and stamp the rest of the title off camera so you don't have to watch me doing all of that. Okay, so you can see the title is done now, so I can start putting everything onto the page. I'm just using plain white cardstock for the background. I've got my journaling strips printed out, those other 2 stamped pieces, and then I've got these strips of paper. They're from Paige Evans collections. I think the blue one is from Whimsical, and I think the yellow is from Pick Me Up. So I've just got some strips of that. I've cut some white cardstock with a scallop border punch, and I'm just layering those together now, and they are going to go down either side of the page. So just some double-sided tape on the back of that, and I will add some stitching to these strips a little later as well. Just do the other side now. Alright, so the side strips are now on, and I can continue adding pieces down the center. So I'm just applying that floral down the very bottom. That's from Paige Evans' Whimsical collection, I think. And I'm just organizing everything there. I've got a butterfly to go up the top. My photo's going on there now, just making sure that's in the center before I start sticking the rest of those pieces into place. Okay, so my title is going to go above the photo there, just using double-sided tape on the back, and I will be applying some stitching to those pieces a little later. So time for those journaling strips to go on now. I already have some really thin double-sided tape on the back of these strips ready to go, just to save a little bit of time. Now I can add those stamped pieces, and again I will be adding a little bit of stitching very shortly to those pieces. So a Good Book down the bottom there, and for the floral piece I'm going to use some foam dots behind it just to add a little dimension to the page. So just sort of scattering them around on the back there, and then that can be positioned right at the bottom of the page, and I love the little splashes of colour that brings to this page. So I've got another couple of little pieces there, other little leaf die cuts, just adding a little bit more of that blue to that section of the page. So just tucking them in underneath those that floral piece. I've got another little butterfly that I want to add as well. So I'm just grabbing a foam dot now to put underneath that. And then that one can go onto the page. And the butterfly at the top, I actually want to add stitching to that. So I'm just going to use some double-sided tape right down the center of that one so that the wings can still sit up off the page. So just making sure that is centered properly. Okay, so now I can go ahead and grab my sewing machine and add stitching. So you can see there, closer look there, I've gone right across all those pieces, the journaling and those stamped pieces, and down the sides of the page as well. I've got another little die cut going on here too, which says loving this, which I've just put at the top of the photo there with some foam dots. I believe that was also from the Whimsical collection. And I've got a little paper clip going on the left hand side there now from Felicity Jane. And I'm going to tuck that little book lover tag under that paper clip so that it's hanging down the side of that photo. And to keep it in place, I'm just going to add a couple of little foam dots under that as well. Okay, so that's stuck on there now. Now, I think next I'm going to add the date. So I'm just reaching for my date stamp, my ink. Make sure it's on the right date. And I'm just putting that on the cardstock background, just right next to the photo there. Okay, so I thought I was done at this point, but then I decided to add some messy stitching underneath that floral die cut. So I'm just carefully peeling it back off. I do apologise if you can hear my birds in the background, something's setting them off. So I'm just arranging that messy thread underneath, and that floral piece can go back onto the page, and then this page is done. So I hope you've enjoyed seeing how I've used these Kellie Stamps stamp sets on this page today. Quite happy with how this one's turned out. Let me know if you've got any questions. I'll leave a link down below to Kellie Stamps, and I'll see you again soon. Thank you for joining me.